Hello, my name is Terry Kramer from Kramer Designs. The purpose of this video is to introduce you to our new for 2024 NanoHead 2-axis panhead. For years and years we've had our own ultra lightweight tripod systems and ball-headed tripod systems, which you see examples of right here. But just keep in mind, these little short legs aren't actual sellable units, they're just show props for doing demonstrations like I'm doing right now. This is one of our two tripods. This is the Granite Peak, and you can tell by looking at the bottom of it, it's a single, all three legs come together in one unit, single unit tripod. This is our our third leg attached to a V2 snipe pod, and needs a little further explanation. What you're looking at here is the V2 snipe pod. This is the lightest, most dynamic, most highly functional hunting bipod on the planet, and this is the third leg conversion for it. Now, both of these tripod setups have the same ball socket panhead historically. And if you look at this is closer, you'll see that there is a threaded top for the ball socket. A Delrin O-ring goes in there. This thread is a proprietary thread. It's only for Kramer Designs, and that would mate with the threads in the bottom of the thumb wheel, and the thumb wheel is used for adjusting tension on the ball itself. So in practical use, it works like this. It's tight, this is locked up, you loosen this up, and it moves on every axis concurrently. Now the customers loved it because it was lightweight, it was very functional, and it was compact, but they still longed for a dual axis panhead. That's what the V2, or that's what the NanoHead is, and that's what I'm here to describe to you right now. This is the NanoHead. I'm going to put this on a scale so first of all, you get a feel for the weight of this thing. 2.6 ounces. I don't think there's a smaller, lighter, more precision panhead available in the world today. It has the female proprietary thread on the bottom of it, just like the thumb wheel did on the ball head. So to attach it to either tripod, you put it on top. When you get it snug with the 1/2-inch wrench, it's now attached. And I said 2 axes. Vertical is controlled with the handle, and the brake is here. Horizontal is controlled with this thumb wheel, this red thumb wheel, and it isolates vertical from horizontal. The thing that I want to show you, and I'm going to switch units here, is each axis has a brake, and the brake is really composed of 2 brakes. One of them is the dynamic brake that you control in the field. Like this is the dynamic brake for vertical panning, this red knob for horizontal. But there's also what's called a static or a baseline brake. So I can adjust that. That's typically done at the factory. So for the vertical panning, there's a set screw right here that I can adjust and put preload or baseline stiction to the vertical panning so that it just doesn't freely flop around. Likewise on the horizontal, on the red knob is on one side, on the other side is a place for an Allen wrench, and I can set the static or baseline brake on the horizontal panning. So there's just always a little bit of stiction or friction so it doesn't move when you don't want it to move. Okay, I have one of these though. I set up a little special, actually it's this one right here. I took off all the static or baseline braking on a horizontal axis to show you one critical feature of this bipod, and that is what ball bearing panning does for a panhead. So let's tighten this guy down. And now remember, this is not touching, the brake is not touching on this side of the main axis. I'm going to loosen up the dynamic braking, and look how that thing pans. There is absolutely no play in the ball bearings, yet it spins that freely and that smoothly. This is world class. The only time you typically see this in panheads is on big panheads, very expensive panheads. I brought that technology down to something for the backcountry hunter. Okay, now on top, I'm going to switch gears a little bit. On top of each NanoHead is this clamping system. It's called, as part of my rapid release shoe. I originally had it available so you could put it on a ball head, and the ball head would have that 1/4 thread. Now, when the ball head is on either tripod, technically you can thread your optics right to the 1/4 thread. So I could put my GoPro camera, or I could put my spotting scope right directly on here. But that was, if you were swapping between optics in the field, like a rifle hunter would, where they carry a spotting scope and a pair of binoculars, and they'll use the binocular for searching for animals, but they use a spotting scope for field judging animals. You want to be able to switch quickly. So I came up years ago with my rapid release system. It allows me to interchange quickly from like a foot, which I have on the bottom of my spotting scope, to my binocular tower, to my yoke, or to my optics balance adjuster. Just snap, snap, snap. I incorporated that design right into the top of the NanoHead. So I'll put that on the close-up picture and you kind of see what I'm talking about. So that, you get that automatically, it just built into the NanoHead. So here we got this NanoHead, and I've got my own proprietary hot shoe system, and this hot shoe system, which I call the rapid release system, which I was showing you earlier, think of it as a scaled down Swiss Arca. So instead of being this wide like a Swiss Arca foot, it is only 3/4 of an inch, and it slides in and out just like a Swiss Arca does. Now, that doesn't mean people don't use Swiss Arca. I use Swiss Arca myself. I use it for my photography work all the time. People want to protect their investment on Swiss Arca, so when I designed this thing, I had two thoughts in mind. Protect that Swiss Arca investment if you have it, and number two, make it so the NanoHead could work on other leg systems beside my Granite Peak and my V2 third leg combo. So the way I accomplish that is, let's talk about the Swiss Arca first. This is a naked NanoHead, and again, 2.6 ounces. This is a Swiss Arca plate, a basic Swiss Arca plate. I got this off of eBay. This one has a hole in the center so you can screw it directly to other brand legs, any brand of legs. So if you got a Manfrotto or a Slick or a Bogan tripod, you can put it on there. It has a little thread reducer. It is drilled and tapped or threaded for 3/16, which is very popular in the camera industry. And it has this little insert that also allows you to put it on 1/4. I take that insert out, and you can see, I'll give you a kind of a more close-up look. This can go on the NanoHead with just a couple little things. First of all, this, I call it the Swiss Arca spacer. It's got an elliptical hole in the center. It goes into the head of my Nano, or in my rapid release system, and you can see the elliptical hole. Then I take this Swiss Arca, after I remove that thread conversion thing, I get a flathead, Allen-headed screw. Now these screws, the standard is 82 degrees. This Swiss plate has an 82-degree countersunk hole. So this thing will drop in, make great contact. It stays below it stays flush and below. the sliding surface, and now I put it right on top of the NanoHead. Take Allen wrench, tighten it up, and now I have got Swiss Arca on top of the NanoHead. This is a Swiss Arca shoe, or a foot, this is a shoe, and there's how you, upside down, and I still got all the NanoHead panning ability. I'm going to just take this thing out real quick because I want to show you something that's kind of going to really enlighten you. This Swiss Arca plate with the shoe will tip this scale at 4.2 ounces. 2.6. The problem with Swiss Arca is that it really was never designed for like ultra lightweight hunting. It was designed for the camera industry, the birdwatching industry, the heavy optics industry. But there's a lot of different variants, and it's very flexible, so people started using it for backcountry hunting. But trust me, there's a lot of weight to be saved when you jump from Swiss Arca to our rapid release system. Just want to point that out. Now the next thing that people wanted was they wanted the ability to take my NanoHead and put it on a different set of legs. I've got an old tripod here that I used faithfully for a lot of years. It's a Vortex high country tripod. It has a basic ball head on top of it, very similar in functionality to what my ball head does. On top of this thing, you can unscrew it. You can take the head off, and there is a 3/8/16, which I'm going to show you how to put the NanoHead on. But before I go any further, I want you to show. Check this out. What does that thing weigh? 7.4 ounces. That's over or right at a half a pound. 8 ounces, half a pound. So you're talking half a pound. My entire, like this third leg V2 NanoHead and all this stuff to attach my binoculars is about 9 ounces. So you start comparing things and it's like, oh my God. Okay, back to NanoHead on top of legs. I've got two different adapters. This is what the adapter looks like. I'll put it on a close-up lens here so you can get a look at it. It has my proprietary male thread, so I can thread it directly into the bottom of the NanoHead, tighten it up with a couple of wrenches, and then it has the 3/8/16, so it's going to go right on top here. I've also got another flavor, a 1/4-20. So this now goes right directly on top. You tighten it all down. I'm not going to do that right now. And then up on top here, if you wanted to, you could have your Swiss Arca system. So that is the basic functionality of the NanoHead. You're not going to find a higher quality materials and machining, more functionality, smoother panning on the planet today. Check it out. We're on KramerDesignsCorp.com. And then I want to just let you know, we're going to do some more videos here in the near future. The first thing I want to do is the next one I'm going to do is comparing the Granite Peak and the V2 3L combination, why people choose one solution over the other solution. So with that said, I'm going to sign off. Terry Kramer from Kramer Designs. Thanks for watching.